Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We're going back into r/neckbeardstories, and if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and to see more of these videos in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what video game you want to see in the background here, okay? And if you have not already, subscribe and turn on the notifications. Oakley dokley peoples, let's go. Our first story comes to us from username Gifted Child Syndrome. Being nice doesn't mean consent to harassment. I can finally write my feelings now that I have 100% cut ties with this guy. And as I have said in a previous post, Reddit is banned here where I'm from, and so I don't open it as much. And to be honest, I don't even know whether this story would classify as a nice guy or a neckbeard. Wait, I didn't even know Reddit was banned in certain countries. Why though? I don't know how it is in other continents, but in most Asian countries, it's normal for students to have tutoring classes at night. I was in one of them. I was a student of a certain famous tutor facility since I was in middle school until I graduated high school just a few months ago. At that time, because of a certain virus, they had new regulations about the division of class where there could only be about 15 to 20 students and one tutor per class. Back then, I was quite a diligent student, and so I would come about half an hour to an hour early before class would start. Now, because of the class division, I was separated with a lot of my friends that I know, except for maybe one person. On those nights, I came early and sat on the front seat. After about 10 minutes or so, another guy came and sat right behind me. At first I thought it was rather odd on how he would choose to sit right behind me when there's a lot of empty seats to choose from, and so I did feel a bit uncomfortable, but I can't just ask him why he did it, can I? Now, if this was a one-time thing, I wouldn't really care about it, but this happened every single day since then. Anytime I would come early, he would sit right behind me no matter where I sit. Even when I tried to sit at the most back corner seat, he would just sit beside me, not saying a word, not even a glance. After some time, I tried to talk to him, thinking maybe he just wanted to be friends, and it was me that was overthinking it. I mean, although I think he was kinda weird, he was still quite a social guy to other people. He would talk about anime and games to other guys. Well, that was a bad mistake. I think he got my number from our WhatsApp group and started texting me non-stop. At first it was about some study materials and subject, but the longer we talked, the more uncomfortable it was. He started talking about how he liked off-brand and ecchi when I told him that I liked anime, sent me off-brand links, pictures of girls he said he liked, and many more. Now, bear in mind, he said all that in less than 3 days since I talked to him. That is, until a few days later, as usual, he sat behind me, but out of nowhere he started commenting that my bra strap was visible and how he really wanted to take them off in the middle of class when the teacher went out of the class to get some markers. Everyone heard him and is just stunned quiet until one girl just asked, "Excuse me?" He laughed her off and said that it was just a joke. I was super uncomfortable and embarrassed. All I could think is my clothes too open? Is it visible? Was it my fault? To be honest, I don't really have a great ending. The harassing texts and comments kept coming, and in those months, I just took it. There are times when I kept missing classes and coming in late just to avoid him, but I was scolded, told that I was wasting money and was turning into a bad seed. I did tell a couple of people I was close with and my mom about what happened, but all of them just told me to ignore him and that it was my fault and that I talked to him first, and so I did. I ignored him all the way until the university admission exam. After the acceptance announcement, where I fortunately passed and is now a law student, he suddenly texted me again, saying how much he missed me and that he wanted to date me and F me. This part was so extremely gross and detailed, it is disgusting. I was just at a loss for words. I was tired of him, and so I told him every bit of rage that I have accumulated to that point. I hate him. Why did everyone blame me, a victim, when he was the one who harassed me. Oh, it's just through text, he didn't physically hurt you, so it doesn't count. Oh, so I had to get Ray first so it would matter? After I said what had to be said, he tried to call me several times, and I blocked him. But then he just DM'd me on Instagram, calling me a B, a W, and all of the classics. No matter how many times I blocked him, he would either make a new one or use his friend's Instagram. So what did I do? I deleted my account and made a new one. I changed my number, saying to other people it is so that I can have a fresh start in college. Whilst true, it was mostly so that I can cut ties with this man for good. Anyone that just outright says, oh, it doesn't hurt because it's on text, apparently has never had anybody do anything absolutely horrible to them and through text. Like, seriously, I was fired on text, my ex cheated on me on text. The words can hurt even if they're in text. And anybody that throws the whole line around like, oh, it's just a text message, it doesn't hurt, y'all can rightfully go off and just be on your own, because you don't need to keep yourself around anybody that has that type of ideals. Our next story comes to us from username Immortal Drawstick. A middle school English hack. Hey, this is my first post here, and since I don't have any images to post on r/niceguys, I'm here, so just so you know, I'm writing this on mobile, so if the format is funky like the 80s, that's why. Now, to give y'all some context. Nowadays, I identify as non-binary and use they/them pronouns, but this took place back in middle school when I didn't, and this sorry sack of potatoes known as our nice guy would be screaming my dead name and using the wrong pronoun, so I'll just switch them up for y'all and use OP in place of my dead name. 2. I live in America, so for the rest of you lovely people who don't live in Freedom Land, this takes place in 8th grade, and if the time comes where I need to transfer everything out of Freedom units, I will do my best and would like to apologize in advance if any of the conversations are a tad off. I'm still learning the metric conversion, please be nice. 3. I used to live on the east coast of my country and had been spending about 2 years before this adjusting to west coast and sobbing because I was undergoing culture shock in my own country. Now, on to our story. It was the first day of 8th grade English when I met this kid. He was an interesting specimen. He didn't fit the neckbeard stereotype at all. He looked more like an aspiring football, the American kind F, who acts like he plays the sport, but doesn't. Instead, he lets his friends do it for him and only acts like he plays it at PE. Real weird description, but trust me, where I live, it's scarily common. At my high school, so many boys loved to bark and having wrestle each other like they were at a wrestling practice. It's truly a sight to behold. Anyways, I knew his little band of buddies well. They all had a collective hive mind and always knew when either A, a desirable mate was near, or B, one of their horde had come within a minimum 10 feet of each other, and then proceed to shout really, really loud at the other, or just keep walking, and when in high giving range, go figure, high five. And I had to be stuck with some of the worst members of this posse. We will call them by the first letter of their names. C is our neckbeard, L is his good buddy, CH is good buddy of the worst member of the posse. No, it's not C, believe it or not. I don't remember if he's in the class or not, but he is still very important, and LO is minor character. Now, my friends, OP, me, the, A is a good friend of mine, she, D, another good friend, and A's BFF, also she, P, another good friend, the last she. Alright, let the S show begin. I walk into class with A, D, and P at my side when we see the horde of boys in the back of the room. My friends had problems with them before because this group was known to catcall girls as a hobby and tried to treat it like a profession. We all cringe and wonder if we could escape now with our sanity and pride still intact. We even ponder the option of it running to our respective counselors to change our schedules was still a viable option until C turns around. OMG OP, alas, it is too late. L and CH say similar things and come walking over with C. I give my friends a "oh god, what now" look, and they return similar looks of dread and uncertainty. They reach us and start bombarding me with just me and D, with questions about our summers, like, "What did you do over the summer? Was it fun without us? Did you buy any makeup?" That sounds like something girls do, cringe like that. Now, I have no good effing clue why they were bothering only D and I, but nonetheless they were. These guys continued to harass us until the teacher, Mrs. S, told them to sit their butts down so she could take attendance. C tries to sit next to me, and I think CH tried to sit next to D, but I'm not sure. Point is that C, CH, L, and LO ended up at the same table, but the teacher stopped him and told him he had an assigned seat. C was not happy with this and huffed his butt over to his seat, thank F for that. But he was in a spot where he could easily get away with staring at me, and oh boy did he stare. I could feel his eyes burning into the back of my head, and he made it hard to focus on the lesson. I gave some displeased glares back at them, but they would just smile and wave at me like the dumb Fs they are. I think CH may have winked at me if memory serves right, but this was middle school, so who the heck knows. By the end of class, I was thoroughly creeped out and quickly tried to catch up with my friends, trying desperately to escape unseen by the boy herd. I had finally caught up with my friends when I hear the ever-dreaded "OP, OP, Jesus pieces, what does he want now?" Hey OP, C finally makes it over to us along with L or CH, probably both since they all seem to share a brain cell. "What a C, I need to get to my next class. Dear Lord, please don't ask for my number. I think as I silently pray to God, I don't believe in believing. LP, I just wanted to say you look stunning today." C is looking real proud of himself, like he had really shown Milady his true love deep within his heart. Not to mention his goons behind him, giving this fine gentleman pats on the back and encouragement for such a hard job well done. At least he didn't, "Also, OP, could I have your number?" This was only the beginning of a long year. Yeah, it's not hard to realize that middle school is a really, really weird time for basically everybody going there. And I gotta say, I think for myself, it was my least favorite, block of those 12 years, because that was just the most violent out of all of them. Everybody had the hormones going around. It was either, I want to date that person, or I want to punch that person, and it was a weird time. Our next story comes to us from username OKHovercraft6737. Neckbeard said he wanted to braid me. Somewhat shameful admitting this, but I've always wished I had a story juicy enough for this sub. As it turns out, I was part of a Neckbeard story last year, the first week of college, and didn't know it until my friend told me today. Obligatory on mobile warning. Cast OP, Ms. Me, nerdy autistic theater major, can beat you in a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And also bake you a cake so good it'll bring tears to your eyes. Necky, our Neckbeard standard model, greasy skin, can smell him coming, thinks he knows what real societal interactions look like because of the anime he's seen, but still can't look a girl in the eye, and of course the all-important greasy neckbeard. G, we'll call him Gerald, an enigma. Gerald is approachable, super nice, and drinks his daily cup of respecting lemon juice. He's a theater major too. I had just transferred to this new college, and Gerald was already in his third year. Gerald and I had different classes in the same building, and a 1-hour break before we had the same stagecraft class as part of our theater major. We decided to eat lunch and then to hang out near our next classroom at the gazebo on campus. Necky was already there, working on what I assume was some schoolwork. Gerald and I sat on the opposite side of the gazebo and started talking about random stuff. I heard that there was a small card and game shop just off of campus and asked Gerald if he had been. He said he had sold some old Pokemon cards there, and I said that's too bad because I gladly would have bought them if he had still had them. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Necky's back straighten up. He put what he was working on in his backpack and got out his phone, but I think he was probably listening in a lot more than he was checking his phone. Gerald and I kept up the conversation until my roommate came and asked if she could borrow my student ID card to get into our dorm building because she forgot hers in her room. I said I wouldn't give her my ID, but I would go unlock the door for her to get into the building. You had to swipe your ID card in the scanner to get into the building, but each individual suite had its own keys to get in. Her keys were on her backpack, but her wallet was in her dorm. My dorm was literally a 60-second walk and within vision of the gazebo, so I told Gerald that I would be right back and left my backpack with him while I let my roommate in. So I am autistic, and one thing I absolutely cannot stand is wearing jeans. I hate them with a burning passion, and on this particular day, I was wearing a dress with no leggings or shorts on underneath. When I got up, I moved in some way, or the wind apparently blew my dress up in the back. As soon as I was out of earshot, this is what Necky said, saying to Gerald, "Ugh, you could bounce a quarter off of that butt." Huh? So is she your girlfriend? No, we just met this week, and I have a girlfriend. Oh, I see how you play the game. You date another girl and try to get with the girls like that one all the time, don't you? Excuse me? I don't see OP like that, and I would never cheat on my girlfriend. Oh, I bet you would if you could. Any man would be happy to get with such a breedable female. What did you just say to me? What? I can't look at a girl like that without wanting to spread my seed. Gerald silently got up, picked up Necky's backpack, and threw it straight out of the gazebo as hard as he could. He then sat back down and said, "If you're not gone by the time OP gets back, I'll kick your butt myself and then tell OP so she can kick your butt too." Necky gets up and collects his backpack, which, as I'm writing this, I realize might have had his laptop in it, and scuttles away before I get back. I never spoke to Necky, and he never spoke to me. Gerald just told me what happened over a year ago today, and he said it had slipped his mind, but I think he probably just didn't want me to know. So now I have the word breedable added to my phone's dictionary. Thanks, Reddit. Edit, forgot to mention something. Sorry. Okay, I was honestly not expecting to have that word ever pop up to describe someone. Like, seriously, what was going through your mind to think you could use the word breedable to describe someone? Like, what the hell, man? But with that is going to have to be it with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and start up them wholesome internet discussions. And if you have not already, subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.